What's up, YouTube? Guess what? Got another Power Wheels project. So I took the little Barbie Jeep and I gave it to my niece for Christmas. You could see on the last video, she absolutely loved it. And now we're on to the next project. I picked this up actually before I even left to go get rid of, or to go deliver the Jeep. And this is obviously a 2005-ish Mustang Power Wheels. Now, it's pretty nasty, like the paint's all scratched up. This thing must have been sitting outside, like under a tree, you know, like usual abandoned cars. Parked under a tree for a long time, so it was really full of mud. And I have actually disassembled the majority of this car just to clean it and get all the mud out of it and the leaves and everything. But for now, I just kind of threw it back together just so I could show you what it started out like and move on from there. First off, took the seat out, which is really easy, a few screws across the back. Cleaned that up, and then pulled out the center console. And I drilled a bigger hole in the bottom just to get all the mud and crud out of it. And then that wasn't good enough because down in here was full of mud. Back in the motor, where the motor area is, was all full of mud, so I disconnected this. A couple bolts and some clips underneath, and that came out, and then that gives me access to the electric motors. And basically at this point then I can tilt the thing up and let all the mud and stuff drain out the back. Now of course removal of the hood is super easy. Just a couple tabs have to line up and it pulls right up through the cowl. And of course it's raining, so as per usual with most of my videos. Now the steering wheel is a little more complicated. It had two screws in the center. I took those out, and then I was actually able to pull the rod out and slide the steering pin out without drilling holes like I did on the last one. However, it still wouldn't come out because there's screws on the back side of the steering wheel all the way around, and that gives you access to pull the front off the steering wheel. But then that was still locked on there because down inside there and on that side, if you look way down in there, but my lighting sucks, there's two tabs that you have to bend or kind of pinch or whatever, and then that, it pops out. I just slung water all over my camera. And then, lo and behold, after taking out the screws across the front, you can take out the dashboard. On the back, there's a wire to hook up power to, I don't know, there's some little push button lights and things, a little radio. On the Jeep, the radio, I believe, was battery operated, because even without the power source in the Jeep, you could still play the radio. This one does not work, and I see it has a power cord actually running to it. So now I'm to the point where I need to figure out where I'm going to put the battery. So I grabbed another battery, one of the Walmart ones, for $20. I think it came out to like 20. Now I got to figure out where to put it. I don't have as much area in the back on this one as I did on the Barbie Jeep. If I put it sideways, it doesn't quite fit in between the motors because the wires are in the way. Like, I'm going to have to really bend these tabs over in order to get it in there. And I don't want to break them. So, and then obviously the front area is too small. I'm going to have to cut plastic in order to get it to fit. I'm just trying to decide if I want to go forward or aft with the battery mount. So I've already taken out the screws from the front, these across here, and then there's one up in the wheel well, but then you can, well, never mind. There's probably one behind there too, so let me get that and then I'll show you. Haha, the mounting screws aren't actually behind the license plate. There's one there, behind the sticker, and should be one, yep, right there, behind the sticker. There they are. So let me take those out and I'll get that bumper pulled off. Okay, well there's actually 4 screws across the front of that. Front clip is off, and now I can start working on possible areas to place the battery. Now that battery needs 8 inches clearance because it's so tall, and with this I'm only going to have probably about 6 inches clearance. With that, I might end up having to actually put a hood scoop on it. We'll get it working somehow. I decided to go with mounting the battery in the back in between the motors. All I had to do was cut out some of the plastic, actually feed the battery back through, and then just set it down, which was kind of a pain in the butt, and I had to cut out a lot more than I really wanted to. But now it sits in there. The only thing is now we can like slide out the back, so I'm going to have to do some sort of bracketry or strap or something just to keep it in place. I don't really plan on having to take the battery out in order to charge it, things of that nature. I will hook up a charger later on so I can charge it, but as for now the battery's mounted and it's in where it needs to be, and now I got to do is just reroute my power wires back to the rear here. Okay, well I've just been doing a little bit of tidying, rerouting the wires for the battery. I just clipped the ground wire from behind so I could turn the ground wire around and run it this way. Basically, aside from just the wiring, I was trying to come up with a way to hold the battery in, so I was kind of racking my brain. All I'm trying to do is keep this thing from falling out the back of the car when it's driving or sliding back anyway. And so, real simple, I decided to just drill a hole, small hole on each side of the battery. One there and one there, and I'm literally just running zip ties through it. So, you probably can't see that, but there's a zip tie and there's a zip tie on the other side. It comes across, and then it's not even going to go full circle. I'm just going to run the head of this one down on there to keep it from falling out the hole, and that'll be it. Now, the only ones I have is these tiny little, like, 1/4-inch zip ties. I do have fatter zip tie, but I only have one of these, and I need at least, like, this will go all the way around, but I need at least one more to cut the head off of it to hold that one in place. So, and I'll just grab one more. But anyway, that'll hold the battery in for now. I'm going to finish tidying up the wiring, and then I guess I'll just go ahead and throw it back together. I got the positive wire ran and the negative wire. I went ahead and took my clips off, just put on a couple little terminals. And I did have to extend the power wire about, I don't know, probably 14 inches just to make sure that I had enough, because the other one, as you can see, ended right there, so I didn't bring it up far enough. Right now I'm just kind of doing a little bit of cleanup. Well, I decided to go ahead and pull off the headlight lenses, since I'm getting her all put back together. And I was looking, and the headlight lenses come out with just a single screw, and then they just pop out. So I'm going to clean them up because there's some mud on the inside. But when I noticed, when I get ready, if I decide to put headlights in this thing, that's going to be super easy. It's just a little, basically molded plastic, so this is solid, but it's already got a hole in the back. Just drill through there, pop the bulb through, and then this thing will have functional headlights, obviously with a little bit of wiring. And it's also got the fog lamps here, so I could probably even wire those in if I really wanted to. As you can see, there's a little bit of a difference in it. Before, the paint, the plastic was all basically like the top of the windshield here. It was just nasty, oxidized kind of pink. It's not, see, it's still smooth. It's not like starting to crumble and break down like the little Razor ATV is, but it doesn't look good. So I decided to go kind of hot rod style. I would like to do a hood scoop on it, but this is just satin black, satin spray paint. I think it's Rust-Oleum. And I did the hood. All I did was wipe it down with some grease and wax remover, and it turned out really nice and red after that. And then I went over it with the satin black, did the tops of the fenders too, so everything basically on the horizontal plane is satin black. See, so the stripe is still there. But once you close the hood, and there are little magnets underneath there to kind of hold it. It doesn't look great. I could have smoothed out the plastic a little bit more, but from here, it looks pretty good. So, like I said, after I did the grease and wax remover, the hood was nice and red. So I decided to see if that would do anything to the rest of the body. I also tried wax and WD-40 to replenish some of the oils into the plastic. So this is the spoiler. This right here is wax. This was turtle wax, nice and smooth. I can feel how smooth it is. This was done with some of the grease and wax remover, and this over here was done with WD-40. There's not a bit of difference. It was nice and red for about an hour, and then it went back to crappy, dull, white, whatever. Anyway, didn't really make much of a difference. I don't know if anything that I put on there is going to really last and bring back the red in it, or if I'm just going to have to paint the whole thing. I'm not going to do all satin black. It does look nice, but I don't really want to do the whole thing in red or in black. So I did touch up the little GT emblem on the side just with a Sharpie and a, well, yeah, black Sharpie and silver Sharpie. So bring that back. I want to do something different with the wheels because the chrome is kind of chipping off of them, so they don't look great. My niece did come down and drive it, and then they've headed back, so now it's all mine to play with again and do, you know, whatever modifications I want. So I still don't have a charging system for it. I'm going to come up with something later, so y'all get to see that, hopefully, if and when I ever decide to finish it, and maybe even do something with the headlights. But, you know, for now, it looks pretty cool as is. Pulled off this tail section here in between the tail lights. As you can see, the tail lights are just stickers. They're all faded and coming off. I already got that one peeled off in a pile. I think what I'll do is actually take some aluminum tape and put in there behind it just to make them nice and bright and shiny. Yeah, if I could, this would actually be the time to install some LEDs or something. I still need a charging port. I think right here behind the gas cap, filler cap there, I'm going to put a charging port and somehow rig this thing so it'll kind of flip up. And actually, you know what? I think I might black this out. I always like this style Mustang with the tail pan but blacked out. I just got done painting the tail panel, so it turned out pretty nice. Once again, just went with the satin black, masked it off. For now, I'm going to take this and throw it in my car because it's nice and sunny out. That'll help the paint to cure. I find that works pretty good. Kind of bakes the paint on. Just about got the tail section done. I'm putting the aluminum tape on behind where the tail lights go, so just about done with that. I just have to trim along the line here. As you can see, it's just regular aluminum tape. I think I got it from the parts store. So go ahead and get that trimmed up and then pop the tail lights back in. Get this tail panel put back on. Now I only want to do this once, because it's kind of a pain in the butt to get out of. And tail lights. Not too bad. That looks pretty good. Nice. Well, I finally got the opportunity to go ahead and wrap up this Mustang project. Once again, I know it's been a while since I filmed this. You can see it's dusty, but basically what it came down to is I was trying to figure out a way to rig up the charging system. Since I upgraded the battery, I went to a riding lawnmower style battery, and I didn't have a way to charge it because I never had the original charger for the Power Wheels, and I changed the battery, so I needed to come up with something. So I'll show you what I did. Basically what I was looking for was a two-prong connector. This is what I found. It's just this extension wire. I mean, two wires, red and white, and it's 12 inches length. I found this at the auto parts store. There you go. You got the part number and everything. And what I did is I just cut it in half. Yep. And so then I had two bare wires. I wanted something that I could make sure that always got plugged in the right way. I didn't want to put something on this that was going to plug in the wrong direction. I already had the 12 volt connector, or 12 volt plug, and so I just ran wiring. I just cut off the end because this just had like a regular power jack, and so I just wired it into there, threw a couple shrink wrap tubes on there, and then wrapped it up in electrical tape. So now when you plug it in, I got 12 volts hot right there, so I did the one that was insulated. So then, well, sorry, I put the cover on there. I went ahead and ran the wires off the battery, came back here, and I needed a place to plug this in. So if you pop the cap off, there you go. There is my power plug right there. Pretty simple, pretty awesome. So I just pop that back on there. Yeah, it's not perfect yet. I gotta hook up something so that stays on a little bit better, maybe. So that one's done. Let's see. Yep, still has power, still has juice. I did hook up the charging lights back on it, so you can push the button and read what the charging is, or see how much battery life there is left. Now, that one was almost done. However, probably, now it's been a while, right as I was finishing up this one, and guess what I found? Yep, frozen Mustang. Oh man, someone decided to throw this on the curb, or let it go, if you will. Sorry about that. Now, this is a later model. As you can see, this is an early model Mustang, 05 to what, 09 style. This one is 2010 to what, 2015, 16, whatever. I'm not really a fan of this style of Mustang, in the real car that is, but this one was in very nice shape. They must have taken care of this one a lot better than they did that one, because that one, the plastic's all oxidized. This one, the plastic's in very nice shape, but this one, the tires are more worn, so I think the kid, i.e. little girl, drove this one way more than the kid drove that one over there. But this one has a cowl hood, which actually swaps over to that Mustang perfectly. I thought about doing a cowl hood on that one over there because I think the cowl hood is awesome, but then this would be stuck having a black hood, and I don't want to do that. Now, some of the distinguishing features that set this one apart from the other one. This one, like I said, is in nice shape. This one even still has the little seat belts in it, and it must have been really cold because even here in Florida there's a mitten in the frozen Mustang. This one does not have the battery, this does not tell you how much battery life is left. This one doesn't have the lights on the dash when you push the buttons. The only thing this one has is, oh yeah, of course. I will not make you listen to all this, I promise. And the sad thing is, there's no way to turn this off. Sorry about that. Anyway, this one also has a spoiler on the back. This one still has the original Power Wheels battery. And believe it or not, oops, this thing actually still works. So that battery still holds a charge. Only thing is, guess what? I still don't have a battery charger for a Power Wheels. What I'm probably going to do with this one, since that one's ready to go, is probably remove the decals and sell this one as a just blue Mustang. I don't know. I mean, it's got, the decals aren't great. If I had a charger for it, it'd be way better, so I'll have to figure out exactly what I'm going to do, but can't keep both of them. Actually, I can't keep either one. Wife's getting upset with me having them all over the garage. Neighbor kids come over and ride the Mustangs. They're a little too big, but they still have fun on them. That basically breaks it down, my little Mustang collection. So that's about it. That pretty much wraps up the Mustang video. Stay tuned for future videos coming out pretty much whenever I feel like it. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less, depends on how many projects I got going on, but that one is definitely the cooler Mustang. Anyway, later. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Yep. Something's different. Not that there's more room, but the Mustangs aren't there anymore. Why is that? That's because I sold both of them. Yeah, made a little money. Somebody else is enjoying two little Mustangs now. That's it for the Mustang video. Thanks for watching.